Asking, should you book a holiday right now? And we're joined by travel expert Jessica Dante, and she's going to be answering all of your questions on the best time to book, where to go, and the cheapest deals around. She'll be revealing her top deals to look out for right now today. So give us a call and we'll put your questions to Jessica in just a moment. But before that, Emily and Esther, planning to get away? Have you been away?
Yes, we've planned, very luckily, my husband in his amazingness, I have to say that, don't I? Jessica, he managed to get tickets for the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
And we're taking our kids. I mean, this could all go horribly wrong. So, like, off air, I need to talk to you.
So you're going to Paris?
So we're going to Paris. We're staying out north. I mean, the prices are astronomical, but we've booked, we've got tickets for the football, we're very much on gender lines, tickets for the football for my son, and we're going to go to the Equestrianism at Versailles. The kids have never been to France before, so yeah.
Gosh, what a trip.
That sounds actually, I love France.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite places.
Yeah, I love France.
I'm a big fan of staycations.
Okay.
Or at least local tourism. So going to Bristol, Oxford, wherever. I don't really do a lot of outside travel because reintegrating back into my routine is a lot more difficult if I have to take a flight. And I like to see the ballet. I'll be honest, I spend a lot of not a lot of money, but you know, I try and find cheap tickets and follow the English ballet or the Royal Ballet or the Scottish Ballet. But you know, I keep it British.
Amazing. Okay. Go to Russia. Right. I saw the ballet.
Oh, you know what? Putin has a lot to answer for.
We can't go to Russia at the moment.
Maybe not the right time. Right now,
I've wanted to go for a decade. I kid you not.
Petersburg. But look, let's find out. Look, every time we talk about supermarket and sort of keeping your costs down, they always say one of the big tips is never go shopping in the supermarket when you're hungry. So, you know, looking at that analogy now, should we be booking holidays now when we're all desperate for some sun? Is now the worst time to book, or is it the best time to book?
It's actually the best time to book, especially January and into February. Basically, every travel company in the UK is doing their best deals yet. So it's actually one of the best times of the year to book.
Okay, so now is a good time.
Yes.
And I know you've got some great deals for us for people to look in. Now, plus, if you've got any questions of where to go, cheap flights, how to get all that, we're going to be covering that. But if you've got any questions, get in touch. 0208 862 2222 is the number that you need. There is also a question that I get asked a lot when it comes to travel. Is it best to book way in advance? Or you hear some people go, I've got a great last minute deal with sort of, you know, or is it best to sort of be prepared, carve out some time that you want to go away, don't book anything and look, I don't know, a week in advance, 5 days in advance, something like that. Which one's best?
So you can get really good last minute deals, but it's a little bit risky. So if you're on a strict budget, it's always better to book as far in advance as possible. And you're also going to have the best availability and you'll find the best value flights, the best value hotels. So I usually say book as far in advance as possible. Book
in advance. Okay. Now let's get into some of your tips about the best ways to find a good deal. What are your tips? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so really the name of the game for finding good deals is flexibility. The more flexibility that you can have, the better. So that can be flexibility on your travel dates. So even if you can fly out a day earlier than you thought, you might find some cheaper flights. Or if you have a destination in mind, if you can go at an off-peak time instead of at the time when everybody wants to go, you can actually sometimes find that the hotels are like 50% cheaper than if you were to go, say, in the summer or whenever is the peak.
That is
the school holiday.
That's bad news for parents. I know. Listen, I hear. I'm in there as well, just for one more year.
And then you're free.
And then free.
I have this theory that traveling with children is not a holiday; it's a field trip.
It's not a holiday. It's not a holiday.
If you love your kids,
I
Esther,
love my
it is.
kids. I love my kids. But
So these are your good holiday tips. So sign up to mailing lists.
Yes.
Why?
So the airlines, any of the travel companies that you really like here, the email list is where they're going to send the deals first.
Right.
And you always, as soon as a sale is on, you always want to get first dibs, basically. So if you're signed up to, say, British Airways email list, you'll know as soon as the sale is on and you can go and have a look and start booking.
Okay. Your next tip, I like the mailing list because you're right, you do get those. Oh, very quick. It's travel in a large group, which sounds like an absolute nightmare for Esther.
Absolutely not. What?
But
Explain
why? Why? I would have thought that's more expensive.
So no, it depends on where you're going. But if you're
Okay.
traveling in a large group and you're going someplace that there's inventory for getting a villa or a house, then that is for sure going to be cheaper than getting a bunch of hotel rooms. And it also means that you'll have a kitchen and you can self-cater. So you can go to the local market, get your produce there, and make all your own meals, and that's going to keep your travel costs much lower than if you were going to go out to dinner all the time.
Esther, you can come with me, Esther,
I don't
and look
even
after
know
my
that.
kids.
Honestly, I don't even know that many people. So there's, I'm not even friends with that many people. So I will be. No.
Okay. Your next tip, which I think is a very good tip, is trying different airports. Now, why could this make a difference?
Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated, so stick with me for a second. But we do have, especially for long-haul flights, when you fly out of the UK, we do tend to have a lot higher taxes than if you were to fly out of another city in Europe. So sometimes you can find that if you are, say, flying to Thailand, if you start your trip in Paris or Stockholm, that actually the flight will be quite a bit cheaper, and this is especially if you want to go for premium economy and business class. So sometimes that's going to be, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes that will work. You also have to factor in the extra transport to get to that city, but maybe you can make it a 2-for-1 trip where you're stopping in Paris for a night, have fun there, and then go on to Thailand or where you're going.
Why do we know? Because I have a friend who's a travel nut. I mean, he knows all these deals backwards, and he often flies to New York and he likes going to Las Vegas, but he'll take a flight from London to Belfast to get on the plane in Belfast, which then comes back to London and then flies to New York, for example, but he'll pay a quarter of the price than if he was to get on the same plane, on the same seat in London. Why are we penalised for flying out of the UK?
It's a variety of reasons. Again, it's part of it is the taxes, and also the airport fees. So different airports have different fees when you fly out of them, so that can make it vary. It also can depend just on the route. So if there's a higher demand for a certain leg of a route, then it's going to be more expensive. So it just depends.
So look for deals where you can fly out of places that you can get to quickly. So Paris, you get on the Eurostar and go straight to the airport from there. I know Dublin's also a very great place to fly out of. That could save you some money. But if not, also domestic airports. So would it make any difference if I chose to fly, I don't know, to Thailand from Manchester instead of from London?
Sometimes, yeah. So that's where really playing around with travel dates, using comparison sites, and just taking time to try to find your flight can actually make a difference. But sometimes it just depends on the time. Okay,
well, you just mentioned them because your next tip is the comparison websites. Are they... sometimes people are sort of saying, well, actually, the comparison websites are sort of pushing what the deals that they have with holiday companies and airline operators. Are you getting a really good deal from them, or are they just sort of selling you what they're going to get the best commission out of?
So you can get a really good deal with them. It's just, again, you have to do your due diligence. So I specifically love comparison sites for rental cars. You can have a look at what your fee is compared with a bunch of different companies, what they're selling them for. But also the key is to look at what is included. And that's for anything you're using on a comparison site. Travel insurance, flights. Are bags included? Is insurance included? And that's how you're going to compare and know if you're getting the best deal.
Okay, let's have a look. Well, you're going to Milan, aren't you?
Yes, potentially. I'm trying to get tickets to see La Scala in Milan. Yeah, in the summer. If I get it, if I don't get it, then I will stay.
Is that a good time to go?
In the summer?
Yeah, but I'm trying to book it in March because that's when the tickets will be released.
Okay, so book it as soon as you get the tickets. Yeah. That's the main thing because it is peak time to go to Milan in the summer. But it's such a good city.
It's so annoying, all those romantic couples, and I'll be the Grinch staring them down like, how dare you be in love?
No, but you want to go and see the opera. That's good.
Or the ballet, yeah.
Or the ballet. Oh, what, Jessica? I'm a big fan of a staycation. In fact, actually, I went to Cornwall over the Christmas holidays because it was very long. I've got kids, and the schools went back very late.
That looks like very pole dark.
Yes, and I've got my waterproof trousers and my
giving Boudica vibes.
Now less pole dark. When you mentioned waterproof trousers.
Waterproof trousers, safety first. But so obviously, when you're travelling in the school holidays, prices go up everywhere. So I kind of thought, I'm a bit like you, Esther, staycations are quite good, although obviously prices go up everywhere. Have you got any tips on grandparents or parents watching who might want like family family holidays, and we're constrained by those school term dates.
Yeah, so of course, anything that you can hop in the car as opposed to having to get on the train is always going to save you a ton of money. You don't have to worry about bags. You don't have to worry about all the extra fees.
We're going to drive to France.
Yeah,
We're going to drive to France.
Good idea, yeah.
Are you going to put the train in the car in the train or the car in the boat?
I'm going to try and put the train in the car. No, we are going to get a ferry, and then we're going to get the ferry, and then we're going to drive. But I was just a bit worried about, like, you have to do funny things with the headlights and stickers and.
Oh, God.
So, as someone who drives to Germany every year, yes, you do.
Yes.
You're going to have to sort of check all the rules because there's also things that you have to carry in your car, particularly when you're in France. Your little triangle and your yellow vest, your gilet jaune. You have to have one of those on you. So, but I mean, you can find all that information really easily. Let's have a look at what people have been saying on social media. Garth says, I always book them 1 year in advance. Last year, I paid only £50 for my tickets to Menorca. Wow, that's a good saving there. Jennifer on Facebook has been in touch. She says, I'm a pensioner, so I have a lot of free times. I always check online for the last minute deals. I have saved a lot of money on flights. I suppose if you can go any time, if you don't have a schedule, then you can sort of risk it, but sort of be prepared to be disappointed if you don't find anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, again, where the flexibility comes in. The more flexible that you can be, the more opportunity you're going to have, and the cheaper the deals will be.
I feel like people plan their holidays too much.
Sometimes, yeah.
I think that takes away, like, the spontaneity is part of the fun of it.
Now, what about the extra charges, Jessica, that people have? Because sometimes, and I think that's the problem, I think that's a big warning sign that we should give people when they're going onto the comparison websites. Sometimes you look at flights, for example, and they sound fantastic. And then you get the question of, would you like to take any luggage with you? And you go, well, of course I do. I'm going for 2 weeks on holiday. And then the other bizarre question of, would you like to bring the same piece of luggage back with you? So because everything Well, you have to pay for the luggage to take it out, and then there's an extra cost to bring the same piece of luggage back.
That's ludicrous.
Those are all the add-ons. So what's the best way to sort of avoid those pitfalls?
Yeah, so if you're using Kayak, Skyscanner, one of those comparison sites, you can actually put into the filter that you want to add a checked bag or a carry-on bag, because also now some of the budget airlines do charge for you to have a carry-on to bring onto the plane. So you can add that in, so you'll see the price that includes those. So you get a better idea up front instead of having to click through, but you'll get a better idea up front of what all of that total cost will be.
Yeah, that's important to click that button.
Can I ask a very quick question, Jessica? Is it, generically speaking, cheaper to book things individually, book your flight, book your hotel, or book your self-catering accommodation, or is it cheaper to book a deal?
So
with everything,
it tends to be cheaper to book everything together, because a lot of these travel companies will have arranged deals with certain hotels, and of course if it's an airline associated with them, they can do their own discounts. So often it is cheaper to do the package. It's also a little bit more secure, because if something goes wrong, you have one point of contact to help you, as opposed to you have to talk to the airline, then talk to the hotel.
And you have better protection. The moment you book a flight and a car, a flight and a hotel room, you become a holiday package, and you've got a lot of very strong protection. Now look, before we move on, Jessica is going to be telling us about the absolute top deals today available right now for people at home. So first up, you've got some news about Virgin. What are they doing?
Yeah, so Virgin Holidays, they have their sale on till tomorrow, so you gotta hurry up. But they are doing up to £200 off for families, and I think it was £150 per couple. So definitely have a browse of them. They have some good hotel deals within their packages too, so that's a good one.
And another thing that you've mentioned, which none of us in the office knew about, these long-haul stopovers. What are they?
Yeah, so there's a couple airlines where if you fly with them to, say, the United States or to the Far East, if you do fly with them and do a layover, then you can get that layover for free. It's not any additional airfare. And Iceland Air does that. So if you're going to, say, New York, you can book a flight that stops over in Reykjavik, and they'll let you stay for up to 7 days for no additional airfare. So you can have a 2-in-1 holiday. And Qatar Airways does that as well. So if you're going to even Australia, you can actually do a few days stopping over in Qatar, and through the program, you can book a 4-star hotel for as low as £11 a night. So
wow,
it's a really good
that's
deal.
a really good deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out the airlines that offer that. Now, we were looking at sort of breaks, little mini holidays for a couple wishing to have a little break, and a family of 4. Let's start with a couple. You've spotted a London break.
Yes.
That is a pretty good deal. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so on lastminute.com, that is a great place to look right now at their flash sales, and great for couples especially. And they have a lot of offers that are in London. So if you want to do a staycation, I was seeing hotels for as little as £100 a night for the next couple of months, and then some that are a little bit nicer in, close to Tower of London for around $350 for 2 nights, which is pretty good for the next couple months.
A nice little breakaway if you want to come and visit in London. But a family of 4, they're looking to get away. You've spotted a great deal here, a week in Tenerife.
Yes, exactly. So on booking.com, really easy to find. I saw a hotel that was for the week for adults, 2 adults and 2 children for around $650 in total. There's also even apartments, so self-catering, again, where you save that money for as low as £450.
So that's $650 around in Tenerife, booking.com. That can't include flights.
No, that's hotel only.
Okay, hotel only. Yeah. So a great deal there to get your accommodation covered. Well, I think we've covered everything. Jessica, thank you. Travel expert Jessica Dante there.